Hello guys, and today's the day. Today we are ranking all the Dorney Park regular rides at obviously Dorney Park. Now this is every ride that's not located inside the Wildwater Kingdom Water Park. So this will include the 2 log flumes and the Rapid River ride. With all that said, let's get right into it. It's a carousel. What else do I say? Bottom spot. Next. Cool design, but the most boring of the 3 train rides. Now this is an actual train ride and actually could take you some places. Old design, I like it, but still can do better. This is definitely the best of the train rides. I like the design the most, and also is the most interesting track with the way it goes. You can really interchange the past 3 rides, any order based on. It's a teacup ride. I can't really talk more about it. It's just teacups. This is like the train ride, but in the sky. Wow, so fancy. The most babyish of the 3 car rides. Fun for younger people. Other than that, it's worthless. This is one of those swing rides that like you see at the state or wherever fair you go to, and you're like always scared when you're little. Looking at them now, it is a joke. It swings you back and forth for 30 seconds. Moving. Now this is the Road Rally. It's like a better version of the Peanuts 500, but still really boring. One of those kiddie swings that you see a bunch of the 5-year-olds do. Really nothing much else to add. Cool Charlie Brown theme though. I'm noticing that these are mostly just like flat rides that you can find anywhere. These are just a carbon copy of like the up and down rides, like a Dumbo ride. Moving on. Decently sized for a Ferris wheel at the kiddie area of the park, but there are definitely better rides in this area and all around. This is like the My First Drop Tower of the park. Cool design once again with the Charlie Brown theme, but nothing special. Moving on to our next placement. Up next, we have the Flying Ace Balloon Race. This is your typical fairground observation balloon ride tower. Nothing special really here. Besides, you do get a nice view of the surrounding area. Moving on. Up next, we have the Flying Ace. This is like your baby dragon pirate ship, whatever the heck they're called. Nothing much really here. Good for kids. Other than that, kind of pointless. Moving on. Next up, we have the Camp Bus. Now, this ride kind of operates on the same system as a 7 Seas flat ground ride. Spins you up and down. You do get quite a few good rotations on this and some good airtime at the top of it. But it is just a flat ride in a park filled with other stuff. Moving. Next up, we have the Linus Launchers. Now, this one is styled after the Kite Flyer type of flat ride. You actually kind of get a feeling that you're flying, but not really. The lying down factor is nice, and the spinning is pretty cool, but it's nothing really that extreme, unlike some other kite flyers that I personally have done outside of this. Now we have our final one of the car road race rides in the regular road rally. This one's got the longest track by far out of all of them and the most stuff to do. Definitely the best out of all of them, but still, you can find these pretty much anywhere. Up next, we have Enterprise. Now, this is probably one of the most interesting rides in the park, as it is one of the most uncommon flat rides. Enterprise is the style of ride that goes up on a slant and spins you around. But those carts are spun on a free spinning axle that goes through the center of the cart. So you're getting flipped upside down as you spin around. Now, this is one of the most unique ride aspects I've ever seen. And it is fun but thrilling. Not personally my favorite type of ride, though. I don't like the full spinning. I get if you like that, that'd be higher on your list. But here, not my favorite. Moving up next, at the 24th spot, we have Revolution. This is one of those swinging pendulum rides that you can find pretty much anywhere. This one's different, however. While you're not seated on the actual pendulum, you're seated on claws outside of it. I think the design makes it a little more thrilling as you are further away and get more like whip and get a little higher when you're facing the ground on the one side. The spinning's fine, but then again, this is just a ride that you can find pretty much anywhere. So it's not really that special. Up next, we have the Dominator. This set of 3 drop towers really shoots you up. Like, these have some of the strongest forces I've ever been on with the tower. But they're just a drop tower, once again. These drop towers, yes, they're fun, yes, they're thrilling, but there are much better rides that you can have in this park. Alright, before you get your internet pitchforks out, please let me explain. Now, I like thrilling rides, but I don't like the style of rides the past 3 have been. Yes, they're good, but not my favorite. That is why a kiddie roller coaster is above them. Flame me all you want in the comments, but while yes, this is a very basic coaster, you can find it anywhere. I think personally it's better for my taste and why I like forward movement. I like moving somewhere. I don't like just getting shot up and down. Yes, it's fun, but it's something like I want more from a ride. So that's why this one's here. At the 21 spot, we have Whip. Now, this is probably one of the most unique fairground rides. I don't know if it's just where I live, but cannot find one of these. This is the only place I've ever seen one of these. And I think it's very unique, as these carts have very loosely attached to the main object that's whipping you around. And as you turn corners, you get flung to the sides of the car. Very unique concept, very interesting. I really do like this ride. It's a shame that there aren't more near me, though. Up next at 20, we have the Scrambler. Now, this Scrambler might be one of the most forceful ones I've ever been on. As that thing whips you back and forth, you really get shoved into your seat. Great ride, but it's a flat ride. Moving on. The Musink Express is just a Himalaya ride. Now, these are once again flat rides, but these get some pretty good forces. This one's not as nauseating as some of the other ones I've been on. One of the better Himalaya rides, as you actually kind of feel the force pushing on you. You don't fully get super dizzy when you get off. You're not like walking in a different direction. Not that bad. At 18, we have the Wild Mountain Roller Coaster. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone's been on one of these before. You go up the lift hill, you get whipped around the hairpin turn, and then you go down the dips. This one's hairpin turns are pretty forceful, especially the big, long spiral at the end. But other than that, the dips aren't as bad as other ones. There's one pretty big one that you do get some good G-forces on. But other than that, it's a pretty simple Wild Mouse. Nothing much else to say. At 17, we have the Sea Dragon. This is your typical pirate ship swinging back and forth ride. But this ride, you really feel airtime on this one, as you get launched on the backswing or forward swing if you're sitting in the front. This is a great variation of this ride. I think the best I've ever been on, and that's why it is here this high on the list. This one's just a personal thing. I love Tilt-A-Whirls. I've always loved them. They're probably my favorite flat ride, except for a few exceptions. But this one's a great Tilt-A-Whirl. Really, if you get the right amount of weight distribution in your car, you will get whipped as you go down the downward section. But this is so high just because of preference. It would probably be lower if I didn't like Tilt-A-Whirls as much as I did. Moving on. Now you might be asking yourself, why are these this high up on the list? This is why. I love swing rides, specific ones in fact. And I think this is one of the most unique takes I've ever seen on a swing type of ride. As you were in the bucket and you're in the car. It's basically like the cloud climbers from earlier, but actually fun. You can get launched up on the side and actually like press into your seat going sideways and sometimes. Every ride is a different thing when you ride this one over and over again. Great ride. Moving. Now, once again, this might be a bit biased because I really like a good Ferris wheel. That's why this one's so high. Like the tilt-a-whirl, bias. It might not be like the best Ferris wheel in the world. My God, there's definitely better ones. But this is probably gives you the best view of the park from out of anything. Really good. That's why it's this high on the list. All right, now remember how I said earlier I don't like spinny throw rides. That's why Revolution, Enterprise, and all those were down there. This is the one exception. This is like a scrambler on steroids. It was so much fun. So it's basically three prongs with like pans of 8 of these bumper car looking things attached to them. Now this one, they spin you around as you're spinning along with the main pendulum. So you're getting some serious forces, and sometimes you'll go in the opposite direction that you're spinning with the thing. So you'll get some crazy like inverted forces. Probably one of the most fun rides here. That's a flat ride. Moving. I have no idea why their bumper cars is called Dodge Dem, or however the heck you pronounce that, but this is a alright bumper car. One of the better ones. One reason it ranks above all these, like, again, I'm biased towards bumper cars. I really like these. It's a bigger arena, very big arena. Only problem is they got the thing in the center, and the rules are pretty strict, but it still is a fine ride. Probably one of the smoothest bumper cars I've ever been on, as there was hardly any random, like, stoppages or just, like, stuff that went wrong with my car. Great ride. Just missing out the top 10 is the wave swinger. But what else do I have to say about this? It's just a wave ride. Well, I meant swinging ride. These really just spin you around high in the air. You get a pretty good sense that you're flying. Pretty fun. Moving on. Now, starting off our top 10 is our first real roller coaster, Possessed. Now, before you thrill riders, get your internet pitchforks out again, let me tell you why this is under some of the other roller coasters here. Possessed is 2 big spikes. One of them is just straight up, the other one's a twirl. Yes, it's pretty cool. Yes, it's very unique. But there are 2 big problems with this one. One, it is the same song and dance over and over and over again. No matter where you ride it, it's the same thing. The spikes are, it just gets boring after a bit. It's still a great ride, but it just gets boring. Like, you can't do that over and over again. You need, like, more going on. Now, the second major problem with this ride, I know we don't count ride times. Like, I get there are some high in demand rides that are really popular. But this one is actively the ride's fault for why this one constantly has a wait. I don't think I ever saw throughout the entire day I was there. I don't think I ever saw under a 45-minute wait. And this is because of the ride capacity in this. It is one car because the style of roller coaster this is does not allow more than one car going on it. So between that and the same song and dance repeating over and over again, that's why it's number 10. It's still a great ride, but can't go any higher. We finally made it. I hinted at this way back when we talked about the last drop tower, but here it is, the Demon Drop. By far the most unique drop tower I've ever been on. That and Tower of Terror are the 2 best drop towers I've been on, period. This one is very unique because it's the elevator that you first get lifted up and pretty cool. Then you go down by moving out a bit. And then it does like a countdown, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if they do that for every ride, but mine had it. And then it drops you. But this is not just a regular drop. You're not just straight down. Since you're in a car, you drop, and then once you hit the bottom of the drop, you like curve onto a flat surface. And so it's so unique how you just don't feel like you feel like you keep going on that flat surface for a while. The unloading technique is also pretty unconventional, but it's really cool how it works. So that's why it's number 9, one of the most unique rides. Only reason it's a little low is because it is constantly under repair. I'm not saying that's the actual ride's fault, but it's just the way that it works. Oh, I can already feel the flames in the comments. But number 8, we have Thunderhawk. Now, why this one beats out the past 2 is number 1. I really like this ride. I love wooden coasters. Like some of my favorite coasters of all time are wooden coasters. This one is great. You go up the lift hill. That first drop is it is packed. It packs a punch. You get some good airtime, and even for this is a almost over 100-year-old coaster. Crazy how good I think this still holds up. There are great airtime hills, great G forces in some of the turns, and it's overall a very substantial ride. And it doesn't really have a long line that much because it's always often overlooked by the bigger rides around it. Great roller coaster, needs to be ridden by more of you guys. At 7, we have Thunder Creek Mountain. This is one of the most unique log flumes I've ever been on. Starts off like a lazy river, goes up the chain lift, continues on the lazy river, but with some aspects of rapid river rides in it. After the turn, after a waterfall, a few more turns, you open up to a big field, and there is a massive drop in front of you. I'm talking like a solid 50 feet down. It's not as steep as some other things, but it's pretty big for what it is. And boy, is it fun. You get soaked on this ride also. Great for hot days. Really good log flume. On to number. At 6, we have Whitewater Landing. This is the bigger of the two log flumes and also the more extreme of the two log flumes. This one, you get on it, go up for like 100 feet. It takes a while. You get up there. P.S. When the only problem with this ride is the carts are designed weird, so that when you get up to the top of it and when you get to the bottom of the big drop, it like goes underwater for a bit. So you're gonna have a bit of wet shoes, to say the least. But after that turn, you get sent down the drop, and it's probably one of the most intense drops on a log flume I've been on. Crazy how much G forces and how fast you get on that drop. Great log flume, great for thrill seekers. Moving on. Oh, I can already start to hear the hate in the comments, but Steel Force is at number 5. So this is probably the most intense coaster here at the park. 200 drop with a bunch of like 100-foot humps. Now I like a good roller coaster, and I like this one, but it's not that good if you're looking for a more substantial ride. This is just one big drop, a few humps, a big corkscrew, and then some mini humps on the way back. Yes, it's really fun, really adrenaline inducing, but it's not the most substantial ride at the park, and I'd rather ride the other roller coasters that are higher up on this list than this one. It's a great ride, but could be better. Moving on. At number 4, we have Thunder Canyon. Now, I'll make this one pretty brief and concise because there is so much happening in this ride. I don't think I could even stretch this into a minute. So this ride is basically you're there whitewater rapids ride. It's probably one of the best whitewater rapids I've ever been on. It starts slow, but once you get going, you don't stop. You are constantly going through rapids, bumping off everyone, and spinning the absolute hell everywhere. It's basically never a dull moment on this ride except for the start and end. There is nothing else like it at the park, and the sheer fun from the uncontrolled chaos. One of the best rides in the park. I stand by my ranking, putting it above Seal Force. Moving on to number 3. At number 3, we have Hydra. This is a very unique coaster, as it's a floorless roller coaster, meaning the floor is gone from you the moment you start. You start with that JoJo roll, which I did not like that much. I know some people like it. Go up the lift, and it is straight thrills from the moment you drop. Not the biggest drop, but the amount of inversions and like weird ways that the cart maneuvers the course is crazy. That you see the Flying Dutchman there, so that's the hairpin turn before the thing. It's so much is packed into this short ride. It's crazy. And at our penultimate spot, number 2, Iron Menace. Iron Menace is a floorless dive coaster and probably the second most intense behind Steel Force. This also might have the best theming as the line is themed around the old abandoned mill that the ride supposedly takes place in. You go up the lift hill, and the main attraction starts, which is the dive that inverts in on itself. It's a decent dive drop, hangs you over the edge for a solid few seconds there. Then you go into a loop, turn around, another loop, one more bank turn, you're done. Quick ride. That dive drop, though, is really what shines in this coaster, really making it stand out of everything else. Very smooth also. Moving on to number 1. What else would it be? Number 1, Talon, Grip of Fear. Now, this ride has so much going on with it. Like, there's something new every minute after the drop. So, you go up, you drop, you go into a big loop, then go into another big loop, then there's a Flying Dutchman, then you go through a few more things. There's one really sharp turn that, like, almost pushes you right into your seat. You feel like your shoes are gonna fly off. And then the picture that's in this right now, that is the barrel roll over the loading station. This ride is jam-packed, and it's decently long also. Very thrilling. Someone on the ride cart that I went with blacked out for like a second, and that was fun to see them do that. But this is my favorite coaster here. It's surprisingly smooth also for an older B&M invert. Great ride. The lines are never that long also. I've noticed that when we were there. But by far the best ride in Dorney Park. That's why it's my. Now, like I said in the water park ranking video, which is better, Aqua Blast or Talon? Is that even a question? Talon. Thank you all for watching. Sorry this video took so long to make, a lot of editing. See you all in the next one. Please subscribe and like. Goodbye.